Thank you so much for joining us at this time. All right, let's get straight into it. We're looking at NGO sustainability. So you've worked with NGO for over 2 decades. What would you say, in your experience, is the biggest challenge that NGOs face when it comes to staying sustainable, and might I add, to stay relevant as well?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I'm pretty excited to be here talking about NGOs. I think one of the biggest challenges, which is started from, and rightly so, is that there's a mindset. You meet people that say, "Oh, that's my retirement plan. When I retire, I'm going to start an NGO." Or, "I can't do business, but I'm going to have an NGO." People think an NGO is either a retirement plan or a way of saving money. But it's a problem because people don't know that having an NGO, if you're going to do it right and make impact, is like having a business. You have to have structure, you have to have a plan, you have to have a vision, what you want to achieve, much like a business. So I would say the root of everything, mindset problem, that people think you can do as you like, and so poof, you have a structured and a sustainable NGO.
Interesting. Now, I really want to know this. A lot of times when you tell people that you run an NGO, there's this perception that, okay, you're being funded, the Western countries are just pumping money. Wow, they see it as some kind of money spinner. Can you just, put that right and tell us really what it takes? We do know that many NGOs do rely on they rely heavily on funding. So tell us how it is. Tell us exactly how it is. Is that really the impression that people have? Is that what it is? That once you have an NGO, it's just like a platform for the dollars and the pound sterlings to be pumping in. Can you give us a true picture of what it is like?
It's quite an unfortunate perception that people have, because when you think of society in general, society is divided roughly into 3, let me say. There's the government side, there's the private sector, and then the family or the communities where the NGOs sit. And most times NGOs are responding to development issues or concerns that fall through the cracks. So government may not be filling or meeting a certain need, or even the private sector, the business sector is not willing to do it because it's not financially viable to them. So NGOs step in. So a lot of times people think, you're just doing it because you want to raise funds, you want to attract funding. But most times people start NGOs because they see a problem. And I think we need to give it to people who are there, they are working, whether there's funding or there's no funding. And the perception that people have about this, I think recently with the president of the United States, President Trump, his announcement about USAID has busted the bubble. So people know that it's not a walk in the park. When I worked in development in an international, important.
Okay, we're gradually rounding off. Let me just ask one more before you come in. Talking about burnout, but I will leave that question for Angel. We just talked about leadership. What about community ownership, right? What role does community ownership play in sort of making sure that projects do not die after the funding ends?
Well, if anyone that has written any proposal or delivered a project with international funding will know that sustainability is like major. They ask how you intend when you exit, because you're not supposed to be there forever. You're supposed to be there to do something and leave. How do you intend to sustain the impact that you're going to make within this 1 year, within these 10 months, within these 3 years? It can only be sustained through community engagement. And communities should not be engaged as beneficiaries. I know that some donors have kind of fought against you calling communities beneficiaries, as if they are on the receiving end. They tend to call them partners. If you go to a community, you know the popular story about going to establish or to dig a well for a community, and they really didn't want a well. They wanted a classroom or something. So how do you know what they want? You have to ask them. How do you want, how are you going to implement? You have to ask your community. You have to have enough respect for your community and the people that you are working with. That savior complex or coming hero complex, that you are coming to save the world, you are here to help them, doesn't work, doesn't fly, because people know exactly what it is that they want, and they must be involved from the beginning to the very end of the project, because when you leave, they are the ones that will sustain the impact that you have made in their community. In fact, sometimes when communities are not involved, when the funder comes in to ask questions, oh, what's the impact of this project? Don't know. We didn't even know that they were here. Meanwhile, you see pictures, they were there, but they will say you did not ask us. You came and you did what you wanted to do. Okay, go now. We'll see how this thing will pan out. You know, so communities must be involved from the beginning to the whole life cycle, because they are the ones that will sustain it.
Okay, right, Angel?
Yes, you've talked a lot about burning out. So let's just talk about mentoring. You're a leader and you mentor. So what key advice will you give to young starters? They might not just be young in age, they're just starting up. So what key advice can you give to them in starting NGOs and causing some developmental change in the society?
Well, I do mentor quite a number of people, and the one thing I say is that your passion or your area of interest is valid. You can do, it's up to you what you want to work on, but also you have to build yourself as you set up the organization. You know how business leaders go to school, they go and have a master's, they pay through their teeth to go to Harvard to learn. But NGO people don't want to learn. You want to have impact, but you don't want to invest in yourself. You don't want to learn anything. I am really averse to when people, even when you tell them, go and listen to this video, go and learn about this, go and find out how AI can help you, go and find out about how to register your business. They say, oh, I can't do it. It's too expensive. If you ask them how much is it, they don't even know. So we really need to do better in terms of disciplining ourselves, learning, building our capacity. There are things others will do for you, but there's so much you must do for yourself. And when people see that you are building yourself and you are starting something, it's like those women that sell agbo. When they come to sell to you, you will put your hand to help them bring it down. And when they are going, you put your hand to help them put it on their head. People will help you when you are obviously doing something. And when you put your hand, others will put their hands. But you can't fold your hands and say, okay, carry it, put it on my head. It will not work. So build yourself and set up your organization in a way that people can easily plug in and support you.
Interesting. All right, it's a very insightful
Very, very
discussion
insightful.
there. We had